Greeting HMC friends. I do hope you've been enjoying the cooler weather and a public holiday yesterday. And for those working folk, a chance to be able to step back. But the reality of stepping back, because it was Human Rights Day, when we consider those who are around us. And so this morning I want to share a very well-known text, Psalm 139, one of those favorites for so many. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God! How vast is the sum of them! Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you. And we thank God for this piece of scripture as it comes to us today. Well, whilst I was reading that scripture, every one of us who has listened took a number of breaths of oxygen to keep us going. The simple act of breathing. And the reality is the act of breathing is the gift of life that is given to us from God. I love the description that there in our mother's womb, where it was dark and warm, and as the writer wrote, an aquatic zone, we were forced into the chill air and the bright lights. And the very first action that we did was to claim the gift of life. A huge lungful full of air to kickstart and to get going with life. And of course we know when we come to the other end of life, it is when we draw the last breath that death is then called. But why do I speak about this? Because the reality is that, as that piece of scripture in the Psalms reminds us, every single one of us is a gift from God, created in the knowledge of God, right deep down there in our mother's womb. I find it amazing that when a female child is conceived, at the moment of her conception, the DNA for all the eggs that she will ever produce, or any children she may have, are determined at that very second. And the writer of a Lenten book that I have been using through this Lent, James Howell, puts it so beautifully. John Wesley sparked the Methodist revival by preaching prevenient grace, which is God's loving and empowering regard for all who have accomplished just one thing: being born. Let me read that again. John Wesley sparked the Methodist revival by preaching prevenient grace, which is God's loving and empowering regard for all who have accomplished just one thing: being born. For as each one is born, we celebrate the gift that God has given. And as the writer continues here, the church's task isn't to pass judgment, condemn, or hunker down behind our secure walls. We dream of becoming a safe place for everyone. For that to happen, we have to get busy doing what Jesus told us to do: creating justice, discovering and spreading joy, and making peace instead of division. As we prepare in these months before our election, that is such a word for me, because each one of us is a gift given from God. And for us as the church, those words which he wrote are the tasks that we need to be doing. If we dream of a safe place, we need to get going, creating justice, discovering and spreading joy. Oops, let me stop there. Discovering and spreading joy. It's so easy to have all the negative talk, and yet Scripture is speaking about something else, about joy, and seeing the gift of that other person as the gift of God that too was given just like you and I, making peace instead of division. And so maybe today, as we look at the gifts of all those who are around us, and we are certainly being challenged by a number of people, particularly in this political foray that we face, shall we be God's people, promoting peace, seeking joy, and acknowledging the gift that God gave in that person as they took their breath. And so as you take your next breath for this day, may it be a breath that celebrates the things of God and not just the negativity and the things we would like. So God bless and take care.